NC State is going to start on the vault and rotate in Olympic order, which will be vault, bars, beam, and then floor. Pitt is going to start on bars, and they're going to flip-flop back and forth between the short events and the long events. So their rotations are going to be a little bit different. Meg Adler is going to get the Wolfpack started. She's a sophomore from just down the road in Chapel Hill. 9.8 last week on this event. You see them getting some words of wisdom from their assistant coach, Phil Ogletree, in his 7th year with this Wolfpack team.
Vault is a really strong event for them, so they're really going to want to kick it off strong to start this entire competition.
And we were talking a little bit before the broadcast. The one thing that I would love for NC State to work on is just having more 10.0 vaults in the lineup.
And what a great start for them. A nice Yurchenko full, minimal hop, but those are those details, those hops, those landings that we're really going to be looking for throughout the entire meet.
Absolutely. We're going to take another quick look here. So this vault is only valued at a 9.95. So if Meg does everything perfectly, the most she's going to get is at 9.95.
And the judges are really looking for that height off the table, that stuck landing, and obviously in between those white lines.
Up first for Pitt on the uneven bars, this is Jordan Ewing. Last week, a 9.75. She's one of their juniors from Halifax, Nova Scotia. One of 6 members of this team that are from outside of the United States.
Which is really cool. And so far, a strong leadoff routine. A little bit short on some of those handstands. But gets ready for that double tuck dismount. Almost had that stick. Speaking of sticks, the new landing rule.
Oh, I love the new landing rule.
I do too.
No more. For those that are new to the sport of college gymnastics, Sydney, can you tell us a little bit about this new stick rule that we're going to be talking about all season?
Yes, so you have to hold that stuck landing for the judges to be able to see it. We always joked about the college stick when you salute really quick and then take a step, and now they're requiring that or you get deducted.
Absolutely. So Ewing, you saw that little shuffle of a foot on the landing. Meg Adler previously for NC State, a hop on her landing. We've got Lex Ortega. There you can see the entire vault lineup made up mostly of upperclassmen.
Another Yurchenko full. A really nice solid vault. Again, they're going to want to get those stuck landings, but we are still early on in season, so it's as to be expected.
We'll take another look here at Ortega, one of the graduate students out of Tampa, Florida. A 9.775 last week.
Again, looking for that big amplitude off the vault table. That's a key thing the judges will be looking for.
Back over to the uneven bars. This is going to be Kennedy Duke for Pitt. Duke, another one from outside of the U.S. She's a sophomore from Surrey, British Columbia. There you can see the Pitt bar lineup. A good mix of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, but they do have a very strong underclassmen team. We're going to see a lot of their performances tonight.
That's such a good strength to have, too. You have a bunch of underclassmen. They're getting opportunities to get out and compete, especially at an away meet like this when there may be some nerves, it may be a little bit pressuring.
They've had 2 away meets against ACC foes, so at Clemson last weekend, at NC State this weekend. Finally got a salute from the judges. Duke had some All-Eagle nominations last year. Again, that Eagle Conference, the East Atlantic Gymnastics League, was a conference made up by multiple teams that didn't really have a conference to participate in.
A solid routine so far. You could see the short handstands, which will be a deduction, and then a nice dismount, but again, another deduction on that step.
Take another look.
She gets on top of the bar, gearing up for that dismount, and then couldn't quite find that stick. But those are the details that we're going to see them starting to focus on as season goes on.
Krista Zoltovich up next for the Wolfpack team. She is one of their seniors, and we'll see her on a few events tonight.
Nice Yurchenko full. Good block off the table, and I liked the distance that she had from the table to the landing. That just shows how much power you have in the vault.
And so far, everyone's staying inside those white lines,
which again saves them from a lot of deductions as well. You can see right here on that vault, gets a good block, but more distance than she did block. A little bit of pike down, but keeps it, like you said, in between those white lines.
So 3 up for the Wolfpack, 3 Yurchenko fulls at those 9.95 start values, and a 9.75 last weekend for Zoltovich. We'll take a quick look at Coach Landris in her 7th season as the NC State head coach, 2-time Eagle Coach of the Year, and she has big plans just being back in the ACC. I think all the coaches do when they know what being sponsored again by ACC Athletics can do for the programs.
Absolutely.
Raya Simmons for Pittsburgh on bars.
She starts off with a big release move right down into that bail to the low bar. Moving through the routine nicely. Nice double tuck. Thought she was going to have that stick, but small step. Again, though, they're continuing to build on each routine, and hit routines is what you're wanting right now.
Absolutely. Take another quick look here. New to the lineup this week.
Nicely done on that dismount.
Just that small step. Quick look over at their head coach. First season as the Pitt head coach, Casey Jo McPherson. She spent 10 years in the SEC on the Missouri staff prior to this, and her resume is phenomenal.
Absolutely phenomenal. Huge vault we're going to see over here. Wow. Look at that height she gets off the table. She made that vault look way too easy, and she did it all of warm-ups. We were watching her in warm-ups.
Yes.
I think she nailed every single one that she did, and so happy to see her nail that vault. Huge.
Great redemption from last weekend. She actually fell at Carolina on this vault, and just being a freshman, she's got the only 10-0 start value in this lineup.
That's got to boost her confidence up.
Yes. And like you said, you were at that meet last weekend. Just a slip of the hand, total fluke accident. We watched so many of those vaults in the warm-up, and she did every single one the exact same.
I love how she bounces back, though, this week. No issues at all.
Big things planned for Ashley Knight. Julie Madso on the uneven bars.
Just look at the form she has throughout the routine. Toes pointed, feet together. These are the type of routines that are just pretty to watch.
Madso, a freshman from Asker, Norway. Last week in a 9.725. She's got a list of accolades as well, including the Norwegian champion in 2020 and 2022.
I really like the form throughout that routine. It's a solid hit for Pitt. Again, they're really trying to focus on those sticks. They haven't gotten one yet, but they've all been solid landings so far.
And when we spoke to Casey Jo prior to the broadcast, her big thing this year is building. It's building their routines, it's building their depth, it's building their confidence. And I've watched their last couple of meets, and you can see just even in their bar routines so far, so much more confident than they were last week. Back over to vault, Emily Shepard.
Wow. Another big vault for NC State. She does that Yurchenko full, so again, a 9.95 start value, but that's pretty close to as good as it gets with the vault, right?
I'm going to be curious what they do. It looked like a stuck landing to me.
We'll take another look here on the replay. She gets that nice block. was like a hop in place almost.
It's so hard because the mat gives,
Yep.
and you don't know if her feet actually move. So the judges judge in real time. They don't get these slow-mos like we do. All right, back over to the uneven bars. Emily Todd, that we took a look at the top of the broadcast. She's the freshman from Bristol, England, a 9.825 last weekend on this event.
And so far, a really good routine. Looking for that stick. Almost had it. She knew it too.
She was definitely going for it. But still a very solid routine for the Panthers.
Very solid. You can just see the confidence building as each athlete goes.
She had it. I wanted her to get that. All right. So Chloe Negrete coming up next for the Wolfpack. She's a 3-event specialist.
This will be another big score for them.
And current ACC Gymnast of the Week.
Really nice. Ortega fall. You can see when she lands, that hop could have been so much bigger, but she knows how to minimize that deduction and just squeeze the step back really tight, and that's a vet move right there.
Take another look here.
Watch all of the height right there. Breaks out for that landing, and then could have been way more of a hop.
She knows exactly where she is on every finish, which
well
is
done.
supposed to show in all of the awards that she's won throughout her career. This is Jalea Bedminster on the uneven bars.
Really nice shaposh release to start the routine. Down to that bail handstand. Almost had the handstand on top of the bar. Getting ready for that nice double layout dismount. And there is the stick for Pitt.
That looked like a great routine. Only went 9.75 last week, and I feel like that was better than a 9.75.
I think she's going to beat that score, too.
We'll see what the judges say. Bedminster, a senior from Loganville, Georgia, transfer from Long Island University.
Nice exclamation point.
And she knew she hit that routine.
She did.
Madison Benson exhibitioning for the Wolfpack. So that's one thing that we can talk about a little bit too, is both teams are going to have a lot of exhibitions this evening. So Sydney, tell us a little bit, just what does that mean for both of these teams?
Well, exhibitions are such a great thing because it allows the athletes to get opportunities to compete, to show off their skills and their routines, but also we're still early on in the season, so the lineups are changing each week. So depending on the team and the athletes and the coaches, you know, that lineup is interchangeable. And so each week you could have your, 7 and 8 spots going in for your top 6. So
absolutely. Madison, one of the seniors on this team from Coppell, Texas. A great vault for her. And then we've got another exhibition. Lucia Jacob from the Pitt team will be up next on the uneven bars.
The exhibitions are especially nice, too, for these away teams to come to a home setting, have that exposure, and get used to the new environment, because that's what postseason will be like.
And like you said, it's a long season. It's 13 weeks, weekends all in a row, and it does a number on their bodies. So that concludes the first rotation. We'll be back with the NC State Pitt scores. You're watching NCAA Women's Gymnastics on the ACC Network. Welcome back to Raleigh, North Carolina. You are watching ACC Gymnastics at the home of the NC State Wolfpack. I'm Rachel Garland alongside Sydney Sneed. We are ready for rotation number 2. Pittsburgh is going to flip over to the vault. So there you see a great mix of underclassmen and upperclassmen as Pitt looks to continue to build this program. NC State again moving in Olympic order, so they're going to be on the uneven bars for the second rotation. We've got some fantastic gymnastics. Pitt with 6 strong competitors, starting with Araya Simons. No exhibition for Pitt on vault, but on the other events, they will be doing exhibitions.
It looks like the judges were not quite ready yet. That's always fun. You get to have a couple extra breaths.
Yeah.
Being a little sarcastic.
As a gymnast makes you a little bit more nervous, but they do have to have those tape lines down. It's not a deduction to go over those lines yet, but it does provide the judges with some directionality, and direction
will get you that deduction. So essentially it is, but yeah, I guess technically.
But there's no deduction like stepping out of bounds on the floor exercise.
Right. Starts off with another Yurchenko full. Really good vault, but landed short. Sometimes I think it's better, actually, a good question for you, if it's better to land backwards or forwards. I always think backwards because it looks like you have too much power.
Yes.
Instead of landing short. You can see right there, chest down a little bit, so had to take that forward step.
I would say it depends on the way the landing is. On a backwards landing like that, you want to land and be rotating backwards instead of forwards, because if you're stepping forward, then you might not have enough height, enough rotation, more things for the judges to deduct.
Right.
So NC State getting started on the uneven bars. Kaylee Adamides.
A nice bar routine. You can see the really pretty release move down to the low bar and back up for that dismount. Double tuck. Really nice start for NC State.
The sophomore from Long Island, New York, a 9.7 last week. She's actually one of their bar specialists, competed in 13 out of 14 meets last year.
Almost had that perfect stick.
A career best of a 9.825. Emily Todd will be up next for this Panthers team.
And she does the front tuck half. You could see her hands on the block were a little bit further up, which is why the distance wasn't quite there. But again, good that she knew where she was in the air. You can see right there on the block, her hands are just
really on the front side of the table.
Right, and that makes it harder to get that block off the table, which is why it cuts the power a little bit, and you could see she landed a little short.
She actually came in with a front pike half, but they switched her to that front tuck half just to make it a little bit easier. So it is a 9.95 start value versus the pike half, but if you can't land the pike half, then take the 9.95 start value. All right, back over to the Wolfpack on bars. Peyton Childs. Childs, a junior from just down the road in Holly Springs.
Starts out with that hip hop into a Jaeger. Really difficult, and right back down to the low bar. Nice handstand. Getting ready for that dismount. Slight hop backwards, but wow, just a really confident looking routine for NC State.
Absolutely, a 9.725 last weekend. I think probably right in lines with that. So a great job for the first two up for the Wolfpack team. We'll take another quick look here at Child's dismount.
Just held on to that double tuck a little too long, which again, too much power is a good problem to have.
Sierra Ward for Pitt on the vault.
Really nice vault. I loved the distance again on that. The deduction will be on that step that she took backwards. We haven't seen too many vault sticks. Right here. Nice block and body shape throughout the entire Yurchenko full.
That's one thing Casey Joe said they were really working on in practice, but having 2 back-to-back travel meets, they only actually got to practice 2 days this week. So not too many improvements you can make in 2 days, and they've got a lot that they want to work on. Landings definitely being one of them on vault specifically.
Yes, 2 days is a really quick turnaround. I think people sometimes don't realize the rest period that these athletes need in between competitions.
Kelly Hadrick for the Wolfpack. Hadrick, one of the freshmen on this team.
And she's moving well through this bar routine. Looks like she didn't quite stick it, but a nice height on that release to the dismount. I really liked seeing that.
Absolutely, and great to see a freshman in the lineup. We're going to take another quick look at this dismount. A good angle here to see the landing.
Almost had it, but again, I really liked the release off the bar and the height that she got.
Just the smallest, tiniest hop there. And again, making your way into lineup on this really stacked NC State team just goes to show how much potential that she's got as a freshman.
Which is so encouraging for them.
So Shruti Anand, a graduate student, former Wolfpack athlete.
She probably loves being back here. And again, a nice front handspring, front pike half. Well done.
Going to 10-0 start value on that front pike half. She is a transfer. She actually graduated from NC State. She's in a doctorate program currently for occupational therapy, and Pitt has a phenomenal program. She had another year of eligibility, so she is using it wisely. She is a vault specialist, so she's one and done tonight.
Really exciting for her.
We did hear she was very excited to see some of her former teammates as well. So all happiness, even in this friendly competition. We'll move back over to the uneven bars. This is going to be Katie Harper in the 4th spot for the Wolfpack. You can see there after rotation 1, NC State, the 49.125 is actually their vault score, even though they're on bars currently. The 48.75 was Pitt's bars score, but they are currently competing vault.
She starts out with a nice big ginger for her release move. Down to that bail on the low bar. Right back up to the high bar. I'm getting ready for the dismount. Nice double layout. Nice body position in the air. Did she get the stick? It was hard to tell.
I think by the reaction, she got the stick.
I think she might have.
Fantastic routine for the freshman out of Columbus, Ohio. So 2 freshmen back to back.
We'll take a look from this angle. Notice just the body position throughout. Great form, and yeah, that was a nice stick for her.
Definitely the stick on that landing. 4 up, 4 hits for the Wolfpack. Back over to the vault, Jalea Bedminster.
Nice Yurchenko full. I loved how laid out she was in the air. Good distance, nice amplitude off the table. Again, looking for that stick, but overall, really good vault.
Really strong vaulter. You can tell how much power she has. A 9.8 last weekend at the Clemson meet. Just that step on the landing. So we are 5 down for Pitt on vault. In the 5th spot for this Wolfpack team is Lex Ortega, competing in the all-around tonight. So we'll finish up the Wolfpack with a couple of their graduate seniors. Career high on this event of a 9.9.
Really big release move to start off this bar routine as well. Into that nice bail handstand. A little bit short on that high bar handstand, but let's see if she gets this stick. Nice double out. That was pretty close.
Pretty close. Solid routine for Lex.
Absolutely. If we're looking at it, going to be pick the difference.
All right, back over to vault. Kennedy Duke in the anchor spot.
What a great way to end their lineup. A Yurchenko full. Good distance from the table. Again, the most deductions coming just from those landings.
Another look here out of the sophomore from British Columbia.
She did break out of her full, the Yurchenko full. You could see she was looking for that landing. She was ready for it.
And a great vault for Pitt. She was one of 3 Panthers last year to earn a 9.9 or higher on vault. So we know she can do it, but with that step on the landing, probably at least a 10th deduction in that regard. So back over to bars. Graduate Emily Shepard in 2 out of 4 events so far.
You could see, to start off that routine, huge handstand right on top of the bar, followed by that release move. Just notice the form that she has, the handstands, the lines, beautifully done.
She actually ties the program high record on this event with 10 scores of a 9.9 or higher on uneven bars.
Wow, what a beautiful routine. I think she stuck that dismount.
Absolutely gorgeous.
That's going to be a big score for NC State. Let's take another look here. Handstand right on top of the bar. Again, gets huge height off the bar on that release. Wow. And that was a stick.
Absolutely phenomenal.
But are we even surprised?
No. She competed in all 14 meets last season, which just says something about her level of athleticism, keeping her body healthy and active, and the coaches and the training staff just making sure that she's not overworking. And then again, we do have one exhibition on the uneven bars. This is Maddie Hall for the Wolfpack team. She's a freshman out of Hampton, Virginia. So the scores coming in for Shepard as we slowly wrap up the second rotation. Again, 6 gymnasts compete. The top 5 scores count, so you can always drop the low.
Like we mentioned before, the exhibitions are just a great opportunity to play around with the lineups and give opportunities to more than just your top 6.
Love it. So a great finish for the Wolfpack on the uneven bars, with Maddie Hall finishing up just a small hop on that landing. So that concludes rotation number 2. We are midway through this home opener for the Wolfpack Gymnastics team on the ACC network. Stay tuned for the back half of this competition.
Is probably one of the greatest people I've ever met. She's an incredible coach. She is very calm, and I think she really tunes in to what every individual needs.
Casey Jo did a really good job on just connecting to us as individuals and just getting to know us, and I think that helped me in the gym and outside the gym, just being heard, being seen, and yeah, overall I just love what I do and I love the people around me.
she's brought this calm spirit to us. She really knows how to calm us down when we start to get anxious. She's just very calming and knows what each person needs individually and is there for them.
It's an amazing feeling to be here and to be the fourth coach, to continue the legacy that's been here and really start ACC Gymnastics for Pitt. It's just really cool timing to be a part of that.
And we are in between rotation number 2 and 3, halfway through this ACC matchup between the Pittsburgh Panthers and the NC State Wolfpack. We've got a quick look at the Pitt new head coach, Casey Jo McPherson, in her first season. She was a former gymnast, phenomenal athlete, national championship athlete, and then has started her coaching career, spent the last 10 years at Missouri. We're going to see Pitt later on beam, but you can see how the Missouri team just ranked under her lead, and beam obviously just being one of her specialties. She was a beam specialist. I don't want to say specialist, but she did great on beam. Probably her best event. So you can see always in the top 15 ranked nationally for the NQS is the national qualifying score. So for those that are new to gymnastics, that's the score that is used to rank all of the teams throughout the season, and moved her team, those Missouri Tigers, into the 10th spot back in 2021. She's got big expectations for this Pitt program.
It was such a pleasure getting to talk with her, and she just kept saying how they can have success nationally at Pitt, and that she envisions Pitt being a team that's at regionals competing for a spot at NCAAs. And just to hear her confidence and her drive just with the team as a whole was just really inspiring and refreshing.
Stay tuned for the third rotation.
Cool to see just the confidence grow in each athlete and each routine and build as the night has gone on. We saw big gymnastics. We saw a couple areas where, you want to see those stuck landings. But again, we're seeing hit routines, and that's really the most important thing at this point in the season.
Absolutely. Pitt coming in, they've gotten a 48.6 on vault, a 48.75 on the uneven bars, just a couple of tenths shy of their season high so far on each of those events, but going into 97.35, so very positioned to beat their current season best again, which they've continued to do throughout this 2024 season. NC State, similarly, a 49.125, just narrowly misses that season high of a 49.175 on vault. We talk about the landings. We're going to beat on the landings, but you've got to do better landings. And then a 48.975, so just shy of that 49 mark. That 49 mark on each event is really what each team is striving for. It'll put them at a 196 plus in terms of the team total. But that actually is their new season high, coming off of a 48.95. So NC State's going to move to the balance beam. Quick look there at their lineup. Pitt is going to move over to the floor exercise. I watched Pitt's floor routines last week, and the choreography, the dance, they did a phenomenal job.
I'm so excited to see it. We have such a close-up and good view.
Yes, I love being floor side. All the choreography done by one of their assistant coaches. Alina does all of theirs, and Casey Jo said she's just their creative master. Meg Adler up first for the Wolfpack on beam. Adler, again, a sophomore out of Chapel Hill, just down the road.
Starts off that routine with the back handspring, back layout. We've mentioned this before, but the leadoff spot is such a crucial spot in any event, but especially on beam. A lot of people like to call it the make or break event. Can be the most nerve-wracking. But so far, really good, solid routine.
Adler went 9.825 last weekend against the Tar Heels.
A nice side aerial. Cat leap into that switch side leap combination. Getting ready for that dismount. Gainer fall off the side of the beam. Nice lead off for NC State.
Fantastic job for Adler as she gets some high fives from all the teammates.
She absolutely did her job and ended it with a really nice gainer full like we just saw. She's going to be happy with that one.
All right, and getting us started on floor. This is Sierra Ward. Last time out, Pitt went 49-1, so I'm looking for a repeat, if not better. See the Pittsburgh floor lineup there on the side.
First tumbling run, front full into that punch front layout. Notice the rise that you want to get on that second skill.
Sometimes it's so fun just to sit back and watch the dance, watch the choreography. Let the gymnast really perform.
Absolutely. Getting ready for her next tumbling pass. A front handspring to Rudy. Strong landing on that. And a little wink at the end to the judges.
So a fantastic lead off by Sierra Ward, the fifth-year senior from Prince Frederick, Maryland. Only went 9.725 last weekend. I'm going to take another look at her last pass.
You can see that Rudy. Nice height in the air.
Macy Jennings up next for the Wolfpack. Jennings is a beam specialist and a junior from right down the road in Apex. Very capable of some big scores on this event. She had a season high last year during the second round of the NCAA championships, the regional championships. And a 9.85 last weekend against the Tar Heels.
She does a triple series here. That back handspring, back layout. It's a tongue twister, but wow, she nailed that. Into that switch leap, jump combination. All these connections, too, are what get them to that 10-0 bonus and start value. So it's important that they're all connected and they're not pausing for too long between.
Outside of just taking execution errors, the judges also have to calculate the bonus score. You'll see sometimes there's a flap that goes over the judges' table that has like a 9.9 or a 10 on it. The routine actually starts from a 9.4.
Right, and wow, another really good routine. Great form throughout and really difficult with some of the skills. That she had no wobbles or deductions on. You can see that nice side aerial. Just a strong landing.
Big smiles all around. So 2 up, 2 hit for the Wolfpack on rotation at number 3. Final look at the dismount, and just the feet did not move a split second. Back over to floor, Kennedy Duke.
First tumbling pass, really big double tuck, drops out of that.
Duke new to the floor lineup this year, only competed on vault and beam last year. Actually, her floor debut was last week against Clemson. So went 9-7 in her debut.
Round off 1.5 to front layout connection. Really clean tumbling all throughout this routine.
So Pitt matches NC State 2 up, 2 hit routines, and they are not going down without a fight.
I loved watching this first tumbling pass. Huge double tuck, drops out of it.
Chest way up on that landing.
And then right into that 1.5. Punch front layout. Another stuck landing.
Great combination pass to finish up on. Every gymnast has to have 1 pass with 2 saltos in it. So she did that in the final spot. Krista Zoltovich for the Wolfpack on beam. Zoltovich, again, one of their seniors, went 9-6-7-5 against the Tar Heels last week.
Again, the artistry on beam is also an important aspect that the judges are looking at. It's that pretty dance. She does the back handspring, back layout series. You can see how tight she was squeezing to cover up what could have been a wobble.
Typically a 3-event specialist. So we saw her on vault. We'll see her right now on beam, and then she'll be in the floor lineup as well.
Could see there that combination after that side aerial was a little bit shaky, so I don't think she'll get that connection.
Now, I guess a good question. We talked on how the routines they actually start from a 9.4.
Right.
Do the gymnasts just have 0.6 worth of bonus in their routines?
A lot of times it depends on the gymnast, right? Because some people may have more, so that when things like this do happen, other skills might make up for those deductions or misconnections. Can see she ended that routine though with a nice 1.5 dismount. That blind landing is always more difficult to stick, but she holds it there.
She dug those toes into the mat to get that stuck landing. So we'll see what the judges come up with on Zoltovich's routine. Again, the questionable connection is, will she get that 10-0 start value? While they're tabulating that, we are going to move back to the floor for Hallie Copperwheat. Hallie, just one of their rock star gymnasts.
And wow, you can just see all the power she has. That front tuck through to the double pike. It's a difficult first pass. Takes a lot of strength.
She was also inserted into the floor lineup last week against Clemson. Had shoulder surgery in the off season, so I know they were very excited to get her back in the lineup.
Nice leap combination right there.
Just a staple in this Pitt team since she began her career. All eagle on every event last year, including the all-around.
It's definitely something to be proud of. Getting ready for her last tumbling pass. Really big double tuck. Way to go.
And the most exciting thing is she's only a junior, so she's still got one more year.
She'll be back. She is pumped about that routine.
Absolutely. She went 9.825 last week, so
you can see all the strength this pass requires. The front tuck into that double pike. Beautifully done. And then into her last tumbling pass. Double tuck. Knew where she was on that landing. Her chest was completely up. No issues there. Nicely done.
absolutely. And that just shows the job.
And into this dismount, also a unique dismount. You can see she does her switch leap, takes that step into that gainer off the end of the beam.
Another bonus 10th for that combination. A career best of a 9.9. I feel like it might be close. That was pretty good.
I think it'll definitely be close.
All right, Jalea Bedminster, that we have seen a number of times already.
We saw her huge vault earlier tonight.
This will be her final event.
First tumbling pass. Another huge double tuck. All of their tumbling has just been so high and so strong. Their landings have been so firm.
Yes. They season best last weekend against Clemson, just as the team overall. Several counting scores of a 9.8 or higher. Bedminster with one of the highest at a 9.85. Shared a floor title and reigning ACC Gymnast of the Week in the past. So we've had several that we've gotten to see.
And then finishes with that 1.5 front layout. We've seen a lot of 2 tumbling pass routines. It's become very popular, I would say, a lot more popular than in the past. I think they all have dance moves. I think they all have their own dance move after each floor routine. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
You can see her double tuck, sky high, drops out into that landing. And then her last pass, that 1.5, with the rise on the front layout. Fun routine to watch.
Just phenomenal for Bedminster and this Pittsburgh team. So we'll get back over to the balance beam. Graduate Emily Shepard.
Something to watch for on her beam routine is just the beautiful form and the grace, the calmness that she brings when she competes on balance beam.
She was actually the conference champion on this event last year.
Huge switch leap, straddle half to start the routine. Straddle quarter, excuse me. Then a nice back handspring, back layout series. So solid and smiling throughout the entire routine. That should get some bonus points, I think, for anyone who smiles on beam, because that's tough.
Absolutely. But beam is also one of those events. If you don't love it, then you probably won't be in the lineup.
She did that side aerial as well. No wobble. Another jump combination. So far, it's been a great routine. If she can get this dismount.
Phenomenal routine. Only went 9.775 last week.
Looking for a stuck dismount, and I think she'll probably beat that. Almost had it. You can see her pull up really quick, really quick. Nice routine. Can see that nice back handspring, back layout. Again, looked like she was a little crooked, but saved very well. You wouldn't have even noticed.
Definitely. And again, the judges sit right on the side, so they may not have even been able to see that. We could see it just from the angle that our cameras are at.
And then finish with that really difficult side aerial 1.5. But that'll be a big score for them.
Absolutely. Back over to the floor exercise. Emily Todd for the Panthers. Todd, again, another strong score, 9.8 last week. Her biggest thing really was she was a little bit short on her last pass. She stepped forward, which we've talked about, out of her double tuck. So we'll see how she ends here.
You could see that nice double pike almost went out of bounds on that. So funny how the air sense that these athletes have. It's actually crazy.
They know exactly where they are at all times.
Absolutely. And that front layout to front full pass.
Duke, again, only a sophomore from Surrey, British Columbia. One of 6 international gymnasts on this Panthers team.
Getting ready for her third tumbling pass. That really big, though, double tuck. No problems this week on that. And that's going to be a big score for Pitt. I really enjoyed the big tumbling passes, and again, just such improvement from last week's routine to this week's. Can see, watch her foot right here on this double pike. She knows she's close, pulls that in. I don't think that she went out of bounds.
I don't think she did. Again, sometimes with the camera angles, it's a little bit harder, but I didn't see either of the judges' hands go up, which is also an indicator.
And then ends with that double tuck for her last pass, which is very difficult to do, to end with a double tuck.
It is. It does get an extra 10th bonus. So for those that do a double salto in that last pass, it can actually add bonus to help them get to that 10.0 start value. So back over to beam in the 6th spot. We will have an exhibition, but Chloe Negrete,
the queen of beam herself. She was just phenomenal on this event.
15 scores of a 9.9 plus last year.
That's incredible. And I mean, you can see why so far this routine has just been stunning. She makes beam look a little too easy.
She really does. I know there's been a picture going around of somebody that's laid their cell phone across the beam. I would like to see the cell phone going straight up and down the beam, but across the beam, it is not much smaller.
I did see that as well. Really puts it into perspective, though, for people who have never maybe stepped on a beam or seen it in real life. Ends with that double fold dismount. Almost had it.
She tried. She tried so hard.
She did. A really fun routine to watch, though.
But a phenomenal finish for the Wolfpack team on balance beam. Again, we'll have an exhibition, but those 6 are the competitors that they'll pick the drop score from that'll make up the overall total.
Great punch off that round off into that double twist dismount. You don't see too many double full dismounts anymore either, so really nice to see that.
Absolutely. Right now, Krista Zoltovich had a 9.6 on beam, so that'll be the score to drop, which I believe Chloe will get higher than that.
That 9.6, too, could have come from that misconnection, possibly, depending on her start value.
Absolutely. Jordan Ewing finishing up for the Panthers on floor. Again, they'll also have an exhibition, but this is their final competitor in the lineup. And this routine, a 9.9 last week. Just so fun to watch.
She is so fun to watch. I love the dance. You can tell she's enjoying herself out there.
There's actually a deduction for artistry. And so making sure that the gymnast, one of the things the judges look for is making sure the gymnasts actually perform their routine to the best of their ability and look like they're enjoying themselves. It fits their personality, their music.
Yes.
So they've got some very specific criteria to look at.
Ends with a double tuck. Tumbling run. Looks like she hopped forward a little bit
forward, yeah.
Which will be a deduction.
That was really all I saw in that routine, though.
Yeah, we'll take another look here.
There's that last tumbling pass.
Can see she just broke out a little bit early. She had enough power, but just landed a little bit short. That's an easy fix, though.
So back over to balance beam. The exhibition spot. This is Katie Harper. Again, the freshman out of Columbus, Ohio.
Handspring back layout series. There'll be a deduction for that wobble, but she did save it from falling.
So fall in gymnastics, 0.5 of a point, a wobble, 2, 3/10. So always looking at trying to maximize that score.
And right now, we have to remember that it is still early in the season. So, yes, you're wanting hit routines. The details will follow, which, again, we mentioned are like those handstands or those stuck landings. And so, at this point, it's good to just get out there and do your routines, hit your routines to feel confident heading into the rest of the season.
Absolutely. And a great stuck landing out of Harper. So, a solid finish, just the one minor wobble on that acro series, which concludes NC State's third rotation as they get some words of wisdom from their coach and get set for the fourth and final event. We do still have one exhibition for the Panthers on floor. This is Kaylee Larson. McPherson, one of those large underclassmen, the group that Coach McPherson is really grooming to take over this program.
Talking about it being so early in the season, that is a key factor with floor because floor is such an endurance event. So all of that cardio and that hard work that you build up in the fall, you really want it to translate in competition on an event like floor.
And you can probably speak to this. Even all the training you do up to it, it's not like competition, and you're still out of breath on that final tumbling pass.
Oh, absolutely. You definitely have some adrenaline in there, but it doesn't take away from you feeling a little winded on those floor routines.
A lot of times you'll see all the gymnasts stand in that corner, make sure they take their deepest breath. But again, I've been so impressed with the choreography on this Pitt team.
I have too, and it's been really fun to watch. Something to point out is just that the choreography to these floor routines, it's hard to learn. I mean, you're spending hours outside of practice time learning these routines, and I mean, from personal experience, I used to get so sore from it. So,
all right, so that will wrap up rotation at number 3 at 8:30 Eastern right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. We've got another ACC dual meet going on currently just down the road. Clemson has traveled to North Carolina. Right now, Clemson leads by a little over a point and a half through 2 rotations. Their meet started at 7:30, so they're a little bit behind where we're at. Through rotation 1, you can see Clemson there with a 49.15 on the uneven bars, and their vault came in at a 48.95. Lauren Rutherford, actually a former NC State gymnast, leading over there. And then we've got some new ACC weekly honors. It's so exciting to see the ACC up there outside of Eagle. Chloe Negrete, Best Gymnast. Trinity Brown from Clemson, Best Specialist. And Lily Lippiet, the Best Newcomer, with that 9.9 on bars as the meet winner. Chloe, we're going to take another look at as Gymnast of the Week as she comes to floor in the 4th and final rotation in tonight's competition.
Really big floor routine that we're going to see from her coming up here. We saw this from last week. Huge tumbling. Just floats in the air.
9.925. We'll see if she can best it. Don't go anywhere. Come back for the next Thursday. It's a rivalry matchup doubleheader in women's basketball as number 19 Virginia Tech hosts Virginia at 6 Eastern. Then at 8, number 20 North Carolina takes on Isaiah James and the 7th ranked NC State. You can catch it all on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. And we've got a big final rotation coming up with this NC State Wolfpack heading into a floor exercise. Pittsburgh finishing up on beam, which can always be a little bit of a challenge, but you're not going to want to miss this 4th rotation. We'll take a quick look at the Pittsburgh beam lineup. Again, a great mix of individuals from all classes. Kennedy Duke getting us started, and then Haley Copperwheat going to finish up. Again, she has been a rock star for this Pittsburgh team throughout her career so far. Some great Pitt fans in the stands. Always good to see the opponent that have traveled to the area.
Yeah, again, talk about young team. You can see all those underclassmen, which is really exciting just for the potential of Pitt Gymnastics.
So Pitt, 2 away meets in 2 weeks. They had to end on this event last week as well, and actually did a really good job. NC State moving over to the floor. There you see they've got a slew of seniors and graduates, and then 2 freshmen mixed into the lineup. So polar opposites on this floor team.
That really is a big advantage for NC State, too, to just have those veterans and upperclassmen. And Coach Landris talked to us just about how great and welcoming they've been for the underclassmen, even from a leadership standpoint, which was really nice to hear.
And it'll be interesting to see as some of those graduates and seniors end up leaving the program, who's going to come in and take over. Right now, 14 out of 24 routines are held by seniors and graduate students.
Which is a lot, especially when you put it that way.
Absolutely. Again, Kennedy Duke getting started for Pitt on the balance beam.
Starting off with that can't spring back layout series. A little wobble on that.
And again, up against Clemson in a packed house of 8,000 fans, which can be really nerve-wracking when you've got so many eyes on you. Some little wobbles here and there, only went 9.55.
Those types of big environments that we're starting to see become a lot more popular in women's gymnastics, which is so exciting, but also can be very nerve-wracking.
And there's a big crowd tonight, too.
There's a huge crowd tonight. It's been just electric in here. It's awesome just to see the fans and the student section come out.
Absolutely. Everyone is so excited for ACC Gymnastics. These programs, again, we've talked about the ACC having championships in every sport except this one when so many schools have added it. So all the students, all the athletes really excited to see this. And you hear the crowd erupt.
It is loud in here.
They are waiting for these floor routines. Lex Ortega going to get us started. Ortega was actually the Eagle all-around champion last year.
Getting ready for that first tumbling pass. Front handspring Rudy.
Career best on this event of a 9.85. Only went 9.675 last week. But there's just something about being at home.
There is. Being at home, ending on floor, that might be one of the best things, truly.
Absolutely. She gets to set the pace, set the momentum. Already gotten the crowd into it.
Into that 1.5 front layout.
She is just putting on a show.
Which is one of the most fun parts about floor.
Absolutely. I'm here for it. We'll grab the popcorn.
Sometimes you forget there's tumbling, right?
Yes.
Just dancing choreography, side of tumbling.
Side of tumbling.
Last pass. Front layout. Oh. Looked like she went to do that front full and just got lost in the air.
Yeah, so unfortunate.
It is. You hate to see that happen.
Oh man, I'm glad she landed flat and no injuries or anything.
We'll take another look again here.
See if we can see.
Really nice first pass, that Rudy. And then second pass, same thing. That 1.5 to front layout. Beautifully done.
So precise with the takeoffs and the landings on those first two. Here's that.
Take a look right here. Just so you have to have that right timing and block, with the angles.
Yeah, her ankles looked a little wobbly coming out of that front layout. But we'll head back over to the balance beam with Pittsburgh. Emily Todd in the second spot. Todd had that unique mount. Been really intentional with her training. Went 9.7 last week.
I love the flexibility that she's showing on those leaps. The judges want to see that 180-degree split level. anytime that you're doing a leap combination or jump. Now that handspring back layout series, that'll be a deduction for that wobble. And she did lift her leg. It looked like just too much power on that. Goes for that dismount, front full off the beam. Came up a little short, but a solid routine for Pitt.
Yeah, again, Coach McPherson really talking about building and their confidence. Even just that routine, yes, there were some little mistakes. We'll take a couple look at some replays here. So some minor errors, but you can see that they're even more confident. So 4th week into this season, and it's already starting to show as far as what they've been working on in the gym.
I was just going to say, I agree with that, because right now it's hard to just focus on those tiny details when you're really just wanting to focus on hits, getting your lineup situated, and just having the athletes and the gymnasts feel so comfortable and confident every single time they're up.
So we've got a judges conference on the floor based on Lex Ortega's routine. So there's too much of a discrepancy either between the start values or between the overall score to where the judges actually have to get together with the meet referee.
If I had to guess, it's probably with that last pass, you could see she was doing a combination tumbling run, so 2 skills, and because she missed, they could take or deduct different areas of that.
Yeah,
we'll see again. Right there, just misses that punch.
So, and a lot of times for the skill to count, you actually have to hit your feet first, which I did pay attention. Her heels hit first before she fell backwards. But in real time, it's so hard to catch some of those things. But a lot of times if your feet don't hit first, you don't even get credit for that skill.
And it seems like such a small thing, but it does make a really big difference in those start values, as we can see.
Yes, absolutely. So Lex Ortega's score coming in at a 9.15, which we've got 5 left to go. How is that going to impact the rest of this floor lineup?
Yeah, it's a pressure situation here. So really looking forward to seeing how NC State handles this pressure, and it'll be really important for Elle to get the momentum going, kind of reset the rest of this floor lineup.
Absolutely, and just a freshman now having to come in after one of the great athletes fell.
Starts with that front layout, Rudy. You can see her teammates really cheering her on, because this is a really important routine. Floor is a good event to have some nerves, though, because you're tumbling. It's a little bit easier to get them out rather than like a balance beam.
Absolutely, and again, as a freshman, she's already been able to come in and make such a big impact.
Nicely done, 1.5 punch front layout.
So a fantastic way to come back. That's going to be a big score for the Wolfpack, but they really did open the door to this Pittsburgh team. If Pitt can hit, they may have opened it up just enough for them to come out with the win.
Absolutely. Again, this last tumbling pass. 1.5, nice front layout to finish off that floor routine. Really good job. She did exactly what she needed to do to get the rest of this floor lineup on track.
So the fans are asking for a 10. And while they calculate the score for Ellie Hadrick, we're going to move back over to Carla Ferzacco on beam, one of the beam specialists.
Getting started with the back handspring back layout, acro series. on balance beam 2, some things people may not realize is they have certain cues and breaths that they're taking throughout the entire routine. We actually see some gymnasts that talk to themselves while on the balance beam.
Yes, absolutely. Perzocco, a sophomore out of Millis, Massachusetts. And again, you hate to see that. No matter what the team, you hate to see that.
You really do. Beam is just such a hard event. I mean, you're a little bit crooked here or there. It's hard to save some of these skills, and she was just off on that side aerial. Finishes off with that nice cartwheel gainer full. But it'll be interesting to see how Pitt kind of bounces back from that and, also resets their lineup. Can see, again, that cat leap into that aerial. More difficult with the combination, but just crooked. Finishes, though, with a nice gainer full dismount. But unfortunately, it's just off.
So an interesting start to the fourth rotation where both teams have now had a fall. So back over to floor for NC State, Krista Zoltovich.
Her floor routines are always so fun to watch.
She really is. A 9.825 last week. So again, just very clean, very precise.
I love her first tumbling pass. The 2.5 to the front tuck. That's a really difficult 2.5 pass, and she just gets so much height on that.
She does. She makes it look so easy.
Every single time.
I always love her floor music, too. It's the Irish.
Yeah, exactly.
She performs it so well.
So do her teammates behind her. It's so funny.
That is very true.
I think everyone on the team knows everybody's floor routines.
Yes, you talked about how long it takes to memorize your floor routine, especially if it's new and you work for hours on this. But then you also memorize 6, 7, 8 other floor routines.
It's the fun part about it. Last pass, double tuck. You can see another big double tuck. She is pumped.
So Hadra came in at a 9.85. I don't know if the clap was choreographed after that final tumbling pass, but she was so excited that she threw that clap in there. Hey, make it part of the routine.
The energy is picking it back up in here for their floor rotation.
The fans are going crazy.
They are. Take a look at this 2.5. Beautifully done. The form is just phenomenal in the air. And then ends with another double tuck. Really powerful.
That clap, she knew she hit that routine, and that clap just...
I love that emotion.
I love it. These gymnasts are competing. They're out there performing for themselves. They're representing their school, and they're just having so much fun with it. And then you have to move back to the beam, which is a much more calm event. So Jordan Ewing, the cheer erupted in the crowd, and then she's got to get going on beam.
And so far, so good. Strong side aerial. It is interesting, though. Beam is it's a calm event. And floor, you have so much adrenaline. So you have to be able to find that balance when rotating throughout the meet. You could see on that handspring back layout a wobble, but she did stay on.
So Pitt really struggled so far on beam this season. They finally broke the 48 mark last week. So again, most teams are aiming for that 49. So again, just a little bit shaky.
This is a pressure situation for her. She's coming after a fall. A nice dismount to end the routine. There were some deductions. We will see that from the series. And then her last skill as well.
And if anyone can turn this Pitt beam team around, it is their head coach, Casey Joe. At Missouri, she recorded their top 8 all-time beam scores.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Again, nice finish on that beam routine. It's always important for the stick because it's the last thing the judges see in the routine.
It definitely is. So the helm of Casey Joe McPherson really working on building out this Pittsburgh program. As we jump back to floor, Ashley Knight, just again, so fun to watch.
Such a powerful gymnast. I mean, we saw it on vault. We're going to see it again on floor. Starts off that front double twist.
And we talked a little bit earlier in the broadcast, so all the skills in gymnastics have a value from A to E. That was an E skill that she opened with, which is partly why she doesn't do it in combination with anything else.
She's just so strong on this event. You could see in her leap and her jumps how high she was getting in the air.
Sometimes I don't think the camera does it justice. When you're sitting floor side where we are, sometimes you can walk under these athletes.
Yes. She does a Rudy to punch layout. Looks like she also missed that block a little bit, but saved it really well.
I think so. Yeah, she saved it, but her back leg bent, which is going to be a pretty big deduction.
A lot of times we see the difficulties with those combination skills and punching and blocking from one skill to the next. You do have to make sure that your timing is spot on.
So 9.75 last week. Again, just kind of that little mishap right off there at the end. But a great performance for the freshman. And big things to come for her. This is only her 4th meet ever in college gymnastics.
I've loved getting to watch her. She has so much potential. Again, we saw a huge vault from her earlier. Same with floor.
So big first tumbling pass here.
You can see that E skill. Again, she could have taken a fall on that last pass, but she did a really good job covering it.
Julie Madso for Pitt on beam.
And again, just off on that back handspring, back layout.
Both teams were doing so well going through the first 3. So well, and then this last rotations really kind of snuck up on them. So 2 falls, unfortunately, for Pittsburgh. They're going to have to count one of those.
Right. That's why, even though there is a fall in the routine, it's still really important to hit the rest of the skills after that, because you never know what score is going to have to count or what tenths will make the difference.
And again, just a freshman. So still a lot of building, a lot of performances to do.
And this has been a really difficult routine, skill-wise. And all the skills were done beautifully, but unfortunately just fell on that acro series. We'll see that back handspring, back layout. You could see her hips turn at the end of that back layout. It's really hard to stay on the beam when your hips turn. But then finishes with a nice solid dismount. Not what they were hoping for, but
again, a lot of learning, and we've talked about how young this Pittsburgh team is, and so it's only going to go up from here. It's one thing that they know as a program that they have to work on. They're going to build that confidence, build the depth within the team. Casey Joe knows exactly what she's doing.
Absolutely.
Back over to the floor. So we've got 2 phenomenal routines to wrap up the NC State Wolfpack, starting right here with Emily Shepard. And we could talk about her accolades all day long, but I really want to watch her floor routine.
You can see just a huge first tumbling pass. What a great night she's had so far. Just looking to capitalize on that in this floor routine. I love the facial expressions.
She really, I mean, it's like this is her stage. We've all come to watch this absolutely amazing performance. Career high on this event of a 9.95.
Front layout to front full. Had a lot of power in that. She did a really good job controlling that landing.
And like you said, she knows exactly where that out of bounds line is. And we talk about the out of bounds. For those that are new to gymnastics, explain why that out of bounds is so much bigger of a deduction than just a 10th throughout the routine.
Well, you get deducted for going out of bounds, but then each step that you take out of bounds results in a deduction as well. So, again, really big double tuck. She almost bounced out of that. I mean, she's right in front of us here. I do think we could have walked underneath that tumbling pass.
Absolutely.
That she dropped out of. Phenomenal floor routine.
That had to have been one of the best routines I have seen her perform.
The crowd went wild after that one. Just watch the block and the set she gets. Right there. The double pike just follows after that.
I would say the only deduction may be that they take a half tenth on that step
landing
forward.
I think that'll be a deduction too. But then this last one, again, for it to be that high for your last pass, you got to be doing something right.
Absolutely. And it's being so nitpicky, but that's what the judges are. And you can't judge in quarter tenths, so it's a half tenth.
That'll be a big score for them.
All right, Hallie Copperwheat for the Panthers.
So far, she is moving so nicely and confidently through this beam routine.
She was phenomenal on this event. All Eagle first team on beam, her freshman and sophomore year.
I can see why. I mean, it just looks effortless for her. And again, being in the position of following two falls, wanting to make sure she gets a hit routine, and so far is doing a great job at that.
She's got a career high on this event of a 9.95.
We'll see if she can stick this dismount. 1.5. Small hop forward, but really nice way to wrap up that beam rotation. Not what they necessarily wanted, but I have no doubt in my mind they will continue to build as the season goes on.
100%.
Can see no wobble on those skills. She would have liked that stuck dismount.
Really open that twist up.
Right.
The anchor in their team lineup, they do have one exhibition, followed up by Chloe Negrete. Shepard a 9.925 on her floor routine. That's what Chloe got last weekend, and she's looking to best that. So we'll see how this performance goes. And talk about another performance.
Chloe is a great performer on this event. A well-deserved 9.925 from Emily Shepard. We'll see if Chloe can match that score. Starts out with that double pike. She was right on the line.
The line is in bounds in gymnastics. So as long as she doesn't go over. And the other thing about that out of bounds deduction is after the judges average their score, then they take the 10th off. So that's another big trick to where that out of bounds comes into play. But the line is in bounds in gymnastics for those that are new to watching. Again, a career best of a 9.95 on this event.
That front layout she does just floats in the air. Truly is like textbook. The last tumbling pass, double tuck. Wow. I don't know if she could have landed that last pass any better.
I really don't. Again, between her and Emily Shepard, two of the best floor routines that I've seen, and I've watched a lot of college gymnastics so far this year.
You can see this middle tumbling pass. Again, just looks effortless, floats in the air. And then this last pass, I don't know if she could have done this one truly any better.
On floor, they are allowed to take that step of a landing, but there are many times where Chloe just truly sticks it. The step on a floor routine on the landing is not any deduction, but she doesn't always take it.
Which is very impressive.
So exhibitioning for Pittsburgh, this is Ariah Simmons. Simmons, one of their fifth years out of Georgia. Did not compete last year due to injury. So getting back into the lineups.
So far, a solid routine. The goal for every event, but especially your nerve-wracking events like beam, is you're wanting to simulate exactly what you're doing in the gym and it translate over to competition. Obviously, it's not as easy. Easier said than done.
Yes,
yeah,
always. Especially on beam.
That's why those inner squads that we hear about are so important. Both coaches told us this week that they really just did a lot of inner squads, a lot of pressure situations and sets, which again is really important for competitions like this, especially postseason.
And I do like and appreciate teams that early on in the season take advantage of the exhibition spots. You don't always see that with some of the bigger schools and bigger programs. If you're not in lineup, you're not in lineup. But some of these schools that are building their programs really take advantage of that to help build some of that depth within their team. This is Peyton Childs, again the junior from Holly Springs. So again, in the NC State floor lineup, 4 seniors and graduates and 2 freshmen. So they're going to have a lot of routines to replace next year. Negrete matched Shepard's 9.925.
Which is a really good score. Again, seeing a little bit of too much power on that first pass she had. So just looking at that potential with that score possibly could have been even higher. But that's just being extra picky. They'll take a 9.925 all day.
So it only can go to a 10.
Right.
There's not much room to go.
We've seen her get close to perfect, so. That last pass, that 1.5 front layout is what she was trying to do. Just ran out of gas a little bit on the 1.5. Didn't quite get it all the way around before she had to punch for that front layout.
Definitely, but still some really good experience just to being able to be out here and compete.
Absolutely. Can see the double tuck again. Almost went out of bounds, but we did not see the flag go up, so it looks like she kept it in.
Had a fantastic season home opener for this NC State Wolfpack team that pulls out the win against ACC rival, the Pittsburgh Panthers. Emily Shepard the all-around winner, a phenomenal meet as we have come to expect. Saw some great vaults in the first rotation. Emily, the leader again on rotation number 2 with the uneven bars.
Just a beautiful gymnast to watch. Execution-wise, form-wise, absolutely competing like a veteran. And it's just such an asset for this NC State gymnastics team. So excited to watch her this year.
So rotation number 3, Macy Jennings, the beam specialist for the Wolfpack.
Such a beautifully done beam routine. So much confidence.
Love the slow-mos to see exactly how difficult some of those skills are. And then Chloe Negrete with that 9.925 to wrap up the floor lineup.
I mean, just so much fun to watch. One of my favorites on floor. Huge tumbling, so much power. And it's just so dynamic and controlled with all of her landings. The best one being this last tumbling pass. Just an exclamation point.
Fantastic. And we are floor side with head coach Kim Landris. Such a fun meet to watch. One minor mistake, but that's okay. But just what are your thoughts from being at the season opener at home in the ACC?
I mean, just truly exciting. I feel like every meet we've just tried to build on the meet before, and today that's exactly what they did from the starting routine. We had to fight through floor a little bit, and they did. They didn't let up. And then, as Sydney said, the exclamation point with Chloe on floor.
Absolutely.
And just the turnout and the fans and the crowd that you guys had. I mean, how exciting and is that for you all? And just how much does that affect you when you're out on the floor competing?
Absolutely. Wolfpack Nation, I mean, they brought it today. The fans were electric, and it meant the world to us. We feed off of their energy. So we got 4 more home meets. So Wolfpack Nation, if you're listening to this, come on out. 4 more meets.
They were so electric. It was so much fun for us to be sitting here watching, truly.
Absolutely. Going forward for the rest of the season, what's the plan?
You know, I think we have to continue to be consistent in our training, continue to work on all those details. In warm-ups, we saw so many stuck landings on bars. And so if we can just continue to feed off of that and just, you know, get 1% better every single day.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, congrats on the win tonight here with your ACC foe. Thanks for joining us tableside, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.
All right, so that will wrap it up here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Stay tuned for the awards. I'm Rachel Garland alongside my co-host Sydney Sneed. We're saying so long, but stay tuned for the winners.